We're finally good to go. Okay, well, first off, we just wanted to say that we're really excited to be here with all of you guys tonight. Thank you for the invite. Yeah, just excited to be here. But before we get into Arbor and kind of what we're all doing there, I personally think it's nice to know a bit about the person that you're actually going to be listening to for the next X amount of minutes. So that being said, let's start us off with some introductions. So my name is Jessica. I am the marketing lead here at Arbor. So anything you see on our social channels, from LinkedIn to Instagram, any content that's out there and external communications, that very much falls into my wheelhouse. How I ended up where I am with Arbor today is a lot less straightforward than that, to be honest. So I took a dual degree at the University of Calgary in international relations and English. Kind of an interesting mix. The end goal with that was to go to law school, to become a lawyer. Long story short, I did an internship in the field and almost immediately realized that law was very much not for me, which I'm grateful for because it saved me a lot of time and money studying for the LSAT and then going to law school. So I quickly redirected. I have always been a very creative person. So I was like, you know what, let me look into the world of marketing, what that looks like. So I went to SAIT, which is kind of like a technical college university here in Calgary, for those that might not know. Did some marketing courses there. Pretty glad that I did, because I ended up getting a content marketing position at an online fashion search engine based in Prague, actually, so in the Czech Republic. And that's what Glammy is on the slide there. So I was dedicated to working solely on Glammy.eco, which was our sustainability fashion market. This is really where I learned all about sustainability. In addition to some courses from Caring, I dabbled a lot in that to have some more background knowledge to support my role. Prior to starting in sustainability and sustainable fashion, I never really knew what it was. I was very much the kind of person that tried to live as sustainably as I could, a low waste life, you know, like bringing your reusable shopping bags to the grocery store, my to-go cup, I carried it to coffee shops, just about anywhere, coffee, tea, water, you name it. It was on me at all times. But like I said, I didn't really know what sustainability was fully. I knew like it helps the environment, but I didn't know everything that went into it until I started my role at Glammy. And that's where I learned everything that really goes into becoming like a sustainable brand these days, from the materials you use. Hemp there, I remember learning you can use dried pineapple leaves as an alternative to leather, which is super cool. All of the processes that are out there, the entire social ethical aspect of it, and all of the certifications that are out there. It's not just GOTS certified and Blue Sign. There's so many. And that's really kind of what got me hooked on sustainability. And since then, I've kind of become the resident sustainability guru amongst my friends in my personal and professional life. Anyways, fast forward a year and a half later, COVID, as we all know, had kind of flipped the world around. And I made the ultimate decision to just move home back to Calgary because of all the uncertainty around it. And that's probably the one thing that I thank COVID for, because it led me to my current role with Arbor. Pretty lucky, honestly, now to have a role that I feel aligns with my personal values as well as my professional goals. But I will gush more about Arbor in a bit here. For now, I'll pass the introduction over to Jordan.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks again so much for having us. I'm Jordan, and I'm a software developer here at Arbor. And so I went to Mount Royal University and got my Bachelor of Computer Information Systems. But when I started university, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And so I just started out in general studies. Initially, I was thinking business, but when I was trying to kind of figure out what courses to take, my mom suggested I take a computer science class because she's also a developer. And so I went into it thinking that I wasn't really going to like it. But to my surprise, that wasn't the case. And when I got into that class, I fell in love with coding. I thought it was so cool that I could write some code and make programs that did whatever I wanted them to. And so I was actually one of the first employees at Arbor. I started an internship while I was still in university. And then once I graduated, they offered me a full-time position. And so I've been there ever since. We are a startup, so our company is only like a year old. So yeah, pretty cool. And I'm super passionate about Arbor. They're like, our company's doing very cool things. And I love finding innovative ways to combine technology and sustainability.
Yeah, so now that you guys know a bit more about us, which is always nice, returning the introductions there, let's get into what we're actually doing at Arbor. Yeah, so to put it simply, Arbor is a data platform. We use proprietary environmental and societal data sets to empower companies with the ability to measure, improve, and showcase the sustainability of their products through custom tools and visualizations. And now to actually put that simply, what we essentially do is we use data to show companies how sustainable their products are and help them increase their sustainability if they aren't. And then we help them market those efforts to their consumers. So currently the sustainable market is growing at an annual rate of 24.3%. And these days, about 3 in 4 consumers are actually willing to pay up to 35% more for sustainable products. So buy Zara, hello Allbirds, hello Vieja, hello Girlfriend Collective. And so it's pretty evident that the sustainability movement isn't just coming, it's very much already here. With this in mind, we've identified that a lot of the problems that businesses face is that they recognize that the sustainability movement is here and the cost of delay that they're facing in not shifting their practices to become more sustainable or offer more sustainable product alternatives, but they honestly don't really know where to start when it comes to being more sustainable. So that's where we come in to help them solve this problem. So what Arbor does is that it enables companies to increase profits and save the planet, which we both think is a pretty incredible and increasingly rare combination. And one of the reasons I know personally, I enjoy working at Arbor as much as I do. What our product offering presents is 3 solutions to this problem. So those are the components of measuring, improving, and showcasing sustainability initiatives to solve those 3 main problems that companies face. So our first piece is the measure piece. This allows companies to measure the environmental impact and soon the social impact of their products individually and their overall brand. So you can kind of see a screenshot of what the measure piece looks like on the slide here. Then that takes us into our improve piece. So this empowers companies to improve upon these impacts by suggesting more sustainable alternatives based on their specific brand needs. So this can include material alternatives, such as using organic cotton as opposed to regular cotton. And then we can also show them more sustainable manufacturers that have certifications or audits behind their processes. This then leads us to the final piece, which is the showcase piece. So this is then helping those companies showcase those green initiatives to their consumers in real world equivalents. And I stress real world equivalents because we found that your average consumer doesn't really understand what saving 9 kilograms of cotton is, for example. But if you equate that to you are saving a drive to Toronto, or you're saving a 3-hour car drive, or you're saving 87 balloons filled with carbon, that is something that people can relate to and comprehend and gives you that feel good feeling of shopping sustainably, as opposed to just being like, oh, cool, 9 kilograms of carbon, whatever that means. We also allow the brands to showcase that feel good factor, as we like to call it, on either their product tile directly or at their checkout cart. So that's completely at the brand's discretion, whatever they decide fits them best. Ultimately, this will help the companies reap the benefits such as, you know, increased conversion rates, higher average order value, basket size, even a decreased time to purchase. To better visualize this, because I know lots of people out there are visual learners, I myself am, Jordan's actually going to lead us through a quick tech demo.
Awesome. So I'm just going to take us here. We start at the Arbor dashboard. And so the way we do this is once a company logs in, we automatically pull in their products and any information. This is super important because we know that no company is going to want to spend a ton of time doing this stuff. They want it to be automatic. And so we also estimate missing information on products like their weight and country, but we always use the worst case values when estimating products to make sure that we prevent greenwashing. And then it also incentivizes companies to make any changes to make it more accurate. And so companies can edit their products right through the dashboard. And you can see here that we gather information like the category, material composition, and weight of each of the products. And then once we have this information, they can show it to their consumers. And so here we have the environmental savings on the product description. We get the environmental impact of a product by comparing it to the CO2 average for that category of clothing. So then from there, we can get the savings for that product if it's better than the category average. And so you can see here by purchasing this product, the consumer would be saving 635 balloons of CO2. Just going to move you guys here, but you can see it's the equivalent to approximately 1.5 kilograms of CO2. And as just mentioned, we decided to show it the savings in balloons because we did research and we found that lots of consumers weren't able to quantify 1.5 kilograms of CO2. And so we really wanted to show the information in a way that they could understand.
Great. Thank you, Jordan, for that visual representation and demo. Going into another visual representation, here's just a quick flywheel of our measure, improve, and showcase pieces in action. So ultimately, with evolving market demand and a lot of the new incoming governmental regulations that are coming in surrounding green practices for businesses, this cycle of measuring, improving, and showcasing a company's sustainability initiatives will be continuous. So we've then taken these three pieces and we've divided that into our two separate product offerings. So our first product offering is our SMB product offering. So this is for our small to medium businesses, and this is an impact calculator that operates as a Shopify plugin. So ultimately, this plugin uses Shopify infrastructure to pull in all products, and it automatically estimates environmental impact. So it calculates the environmental impact of the store's individual products as opposed to the store as a whole. So it'll calculate the individual CO2 emissions, such as Jordan showcased, and we're also developing out showing the waste production and water consumption of individual products as well. And it then enables the store owner to showcase the best scoring products to their customers. So it's a fully automated solution that allows any Shopify store to quickly add Arbor sustainability data with just one click of a button. Our second offering is our enterprise offering. So here we provide a custom solution that automatically measures the impact of products, offers guidelines to improve sustainability, and showcases performance metrics to customers and stakeholders alike. The custom enterprise offering is scalable for growing businesses and is also tailored to the very specific needs of the business itself and their customer. So here we can cover a business that does consumer packaged goods like food, or if a business comes in that is handling apparel, we can very much tailor custom the data that we are showing them based on their specific needs. So essentially it is a made to order custom solution. And the final piece is where we, sorry about that. The final piece is where we get our data from, which I'm sure everyone's been waiting for. We've basically been talking about data this whole time. We are a sustainable data company. So ultimately, our data is a mix of public and private archives. Some of the sources we include are government reports on factories, customs data, company violation reports, UN SDG data, materials processing reports, and ESG as well. One cool thing that we have is we actually have a partnership with Harvard, which allows us access to their research teams, which is super cool. We always make sure to use the most trustworthy sources available. So that means that they're either peer reviewed or launched by government research agencies to ensure that they're the most accurate and reliable sources out there that we're pulling. And as Jordan previously mentioned, for product estimations, we always make sure to use the worst case data assumptions to avoid greenwashing and also to encourage brands to become more transparent. So here is the one last final look at our model overview. So we've got the main problem we've identified, our solution, which is basically our powerhouse of data that we've accumulated, how we've broken that down into the three pieces of measure, improve, and showcase, and how we use those pieces to custom fit our product offerings based on business size and business needs. So it looks like we were actually under the time limit, so there's more time for questions, but that actually brings us to the end of our presentation on Arbor and how we're offering sustainability as a service. Before we head into questions, Jordan and myself would both like to thank Civic Tech Toronto and all of you guys for being here with us tonight. And I guess now we can open the floor up for any questions.